And now we're after the midday market report. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you who show the due diligence to try to stay ahead of the markets. Let me timestamp this real quickly because I'd like to do this in a prompt 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll see how the discussion goes. So good early afternoon, 12:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, December 27th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Good evening, Mo. Welcome in. Glad to see you here during the midday market report. Please, 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 if you're watching, make sure to hit that like button. Share this far and wide on social media so that our analytics and also our algorithm will help improve. And if you appreciate my work, make sure to hit that subscribe button. As we can see right now, the Dow Jones is up 63 points. The DXY is under 101. And we've got a lot of volatility within the market. So we're going to be going through this in a nice prompt order. Let's get to it. The Dow Jones right now, up about 60 plus points. Bouncing off of right now 37,274. Looks like we could be putting in a rising channel here, however. So we've got to be careful to see if this is a nice V-shaped recovery, or if the Dow is going to have to correct here at some point, which it will. It's in the overbought in the 4-hourly. If you go into the daily, we're way in the overbought. If you go into the weekly, we're getting up in there, and we're going to be up there at the end of this weekly on Friday, most likely. So we're running out of room here. At some point, we're going to have a retest. And let's just say we do hit 38,000. It would likely probably come back down towards that 37,200, if not worse. But that's an extreme breakout right now. And our actual move right now, the true technical target, and I'll continue to say this, that target right there of 39,816 is the true target out of this broadening wedge. If we wanted to play the entirety of this broadening wedge, which we never came all the way down, so you can't really say that for sure. If we got on top of 39,816 and held it, then we know our next target would be 41,915 based on the formation. XRP Stu, welcome in. I really appreciate seeing some people in here to the midday market report. So that's the Dow. Otherwise, you could possibly come back down to a retest at 36,134 area if this were to break down. It needs a big retest with the relative strength index. DXY is down under 101. I don't think this is a surprise to anybody. We are going to have a correction here in probably the short order. The DXY is getting out of control when it comes into the daily with the RSI. The weekly after this week is going to end up coming way farther down again. The smaller time frames are already way in the oversold. There's going to be a correction of some point here. We just didn't know if it was going to come down to 99.57 first. I don't know if it's got the steam to come down there, but it's trying. It's trying. Infamous, welcome in. Mark James, good afternoon. Chance, good afternoon. Infamous, I hope you had a fantastic Christmas as well. Thank you, brother. It was beautiful. I had a nice Christmas. But we're working our way down. It's just the RSI at some point we're going to have to correct up. And I know it's just the DXY, but everything doesn't go in a straight line, not even the DXY. So pay attention to that. DXY is getting ready for a reversal here in the days to come. We don't know when or where. It could be at that 100 level, but it's getting close. US 10 years down 2.08% or 8 basis points to 82%. Similar to the DXY, this is at some point going to have a reversal. This was our speculation when it was up towards 4.9% area, was that it would come down and create this inverted head and shoulders if it had a chance to move here. And I mean, you can see how it's broken down perfectly into our range. The thing is, now we've had a death cross in the daily. So I believe at some point, even if we have a volatile move down to 3.7 range, we're going to have to come all the way back up to like 4.1% and at least retest that. This is going to have a massive reversal, and I think it's going to be in line with the DXY. Both of the relative strength indexes on both, especially in the 4-hourly and then in the daily, it's getting into the very overbought territories. That can only mean one thing: a reversal is coming in the next couple days. So as we talk about that, what does that mean for crude? It's down 87 cents or 1.16% to $74.41. This is WTI crude price in US dollars. Going into the new year gets very interesting. We're in this wedge. So it looks like more than likely we're going to come up here. We still got room to come up to hit that $79.57. And we'll see how bearish we are when we get up there. Doesn't look overtly bullish here. About to have a golden cross if we can hold this 20-day support within probably the next 6 to 7 candles. But you would have a swing up if it can hold this. It's just, there's a lot of volatility to come. And if the DXY is pumping, I mean, you could have a volatile swing up. This is in a rising channel, so to say. So you have to be careful there again. Or I suppose you could say an ascending triangle, but I would rather just say it's in a channel. It makes it easier. But just trade the wedge. Trade the wedge. Pay attention to the wedge. Gold, is it topping? It's at $2,081 an ounce. And thank you to the 30 people here during the midday market report. I really appreciate that. 15 likes. Make sure to hit that like button. We've got to do better on the like button. Only half the people have hit the like button. That'll probably cause people to leave. Yeah, trading with J-Rod. Hit that like button indeed. I mean, if you don't want to hit the like button, you can always circumvent it by sending me a YouTube super chat or joining Tom's Army. But I really believe that's the simplest way to do it. So gold, are we topping out here? Thank you, Infamous. I appreciate that. Greatly, greatly, greatly. But the gold, if we look at it from the relative strength index, it is way in the overbought when you get into the smaller time frames. But if you look at the 4 hourly, which it's going to come up a little bit again today as it closes out, they see it pushed up again. Daily's going to come way up. I think we're pushing this area and we're probably going to get rejected around 2100 this time around. Maybe it comes up to 2,146, but this is going to have to clear out. It is. I am not happy with the way it came up. As you know, I was rooting just like for crypto when it had the retracements. I was hoping for the continuation of support. That's what I was hoping with gold as well. Continuation into support. Even if it would have brought us down here into this 1850. I wanted the consolidation for support, period. We did not get that, so we could get smacked in the face in gold here in the days that... Not yet. Not yet, but when we get to this rejection point. JW says, howdy, Tom. Got the day off, and it's a snow day, and the wet and heavy won't stick. Glad to be here. Wow. I wouldn't know what snow is like here in Michigan. You know, it's a couple days after Christmas here, and it's 50 degrees right now. So it's pretty ridiculous. I'm rooting for snow, but it's nowhere to be found. And then in the 4 hourly, we can see this, right? I'm not just blowing smoke. We're up at 80. The lower time frames are even getting worse. This at some point is going to need a correction. So is it telling us because the DXY in 10-year looks for a rotation back up that gold is going to get hit here? Risk assets could get hit here. And altcoins could get hit harder than Bitcoin. And we'll get into the Bitcoin dominance chart, but that looks like it's getting ready to pump. It's getting ready to rev up here. So we've got to pay attention to this from all angles. Silver's up about 20 cents, 0.85% to $24.41 an ounce. Silver hasn't made the last volatile spike. Gold has. So I expect, because silver is bouncing off of 24 right now, that we should come up here before a proper rejection. We should work our way up a little bit more in silver. It's lagging gold. And it's in a much more favorable position to move right now because gold's already made the move today and on Friday, or on last week. This has been in a falling channel on the spot. It's finally reversing. It should be able to come up to 25 plus here. I don't think we're going to have enough steam to 28.73, but there should be some upward progression here. So the DXY, I mean, we'll see if this can rally right now or if it's going to go clean house. But as long as the DXY doesn't do something crazy in the by the end of the week, we should have a technical move up to about $25.69 to get our firm rejection if that's what's going to happen. If not, and we rotate down, you have an equal move to the downside. 85.30 is where the gold-silver ratio is at, up about 1 cent to 85.30 or 0.01%. This too is signaling at some point here, after this next move up, we're going to probably have to correct, but this next move up should be nice. Unless silver does, in fact, pump here. But this looks like we're still working on that move up to that 90 area. I can't help saying it, but it keeps trying to work it. At some point, it's probably going to break down. It's going to break down, but it's going to be maybe we get to 91. We don't know. Maybe we break back to the top side of this formation. But we do have a small amount of room here to run up with the RSI, and I think it's in line what's going to happen. Maybe, just maybe, we have a correction here that we don't even see. So we're seeing a correction, but maybe it happens quicker. We don't know. B2 gold at $3.30. It's coming up that resistance area. B2 gold outside of gold, to me, still has that last leg up. It's made this what looks like a bull flag. And if gold's getting ready to break down, maybe B2 gold doesn't come all the way to the top to $4, but I'm looking at that $3.50 something cent range pretty firm here, assuming that it does get this bounce off of this support here. You could be looking at somewhere around $3.55. And with the way the RSI and the relative strength is looking, that's probably going to cap in the upside. Don't be surprised, though, if it were to run past that and get into the way overbought and get up to that 3.9. It all depends how these big players want to push this right now. But it's a very nice time of the year right now for volatility. Fortuna Silver Mines, and then I'll end it on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Fortuna Silver Mines also has a leg up, it looks like. The technical target is still up to $4.37. I put it out here just so everybody could see it a little bit easier, but it's actually bounced from here and then it has to come up. But you see what we're going for, and it looks like a bull flag's trying to play out. It's still got some room here in the 4-hourly and daily to finish this move. So I wouldn't be surprised if this made that move to $4.37 we talked about last week. And then other than that, the Bitcoin dominance chart. And if you're looking for XRP, I'll cover this tonight in the live. And make sure to watch my update this morning because I did a fantastic job on XRP. The Bitcoin dominance chart, however, is getting ready to reverse. We're getting into oversold, and it's getting ready to rotate here again. It's getting ready to rotate, it feels like, at some point here. 4-hourly's in the oversold already. Let me get rid of some of this noise. But it feels like maybe we're going to have a correction if the DXY goes up, like it looks like, and we might have a correction in alts possibly. I can't think of another reason why. Oh, you know what? It could be just for Bitcoin dominance to retest. So maybe it won't be that bad. Maybe it'll just retest up here about 53.3 and then continue on. But it's certainly showing at some point here in the immediate short term that we're probably going to have a volatile swing here for Bitcoin. At least according to the dominance chart. It's with the RSI, it's speaking of a likely reversal here. It could be a retest of that resistance. But it really is looking like we're getting into that oversold. And if you go into the smaller time frames, we're getting in there now. We're getting hot and heavy. We're trying to reverse out. You see, we're in the oversold. Anything under here is oversold, under the 30 level. We're not in extreme oversold yet. We're still at about 19 in the shorter. But it seriously looks like Bitcoin dominance wants to reverse here. At some point, it wants to reverse. It could drag out, take the older pattern. It could drag out. Maybe down to here. I don't know, though. That's a pretty far drop from where we're at already. And that would certainly be conditions for a nice reversal on the Bitcoin dominance chart. If you appreciated this midday market report, please make sure to hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel and sharing this far and wide for the analytics. If you appreciate my work and you want to go above and beyond, you can always send a YouTube Super Chat or join Tom's Army. And if you're looking to trade crypto, video description below. So Bitcoin, again, looks in a better position than most of the altcoins. It could still correct here. It's above that 42,663, which is a pump zone if it stays on top of that pivot point. The 4-hourly has plenty of room to pump up. It's in the neutral area. Daily time frame still got room if it wants. It looks like a bull flag is formed, and if that's true, we could come up to 47,000 here on this next push up. So just pay very, very close attention. Tanya, welcome in, love. I'm glad you were able to tune in. I know this is the end of the midday market report, but I will be back tonight to do live for crypto. So hopefully you guys got a lot of information on this, and I hope this sits well. Stay